الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصي نعماءه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون والحمد لله الذي من علينا بمحمد صلى الله عليه وآله وبآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم ومبغضيهم وغاصبي حقوقهم من ليلنا هذا إلى يوم الدين صلوات محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Just as we reach the conclusion of our Ashra, we have arrived at the most important stage in our discussion, and that is about the program that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set for every one of us in this life, so that we may know, as after considering whatever we have been told, what are we expected to do? The most misunderstood doctrine of Islam is that of jihad. We find in the modern press jihad being presented as something synonymous to terrorism, spilling or shedding blood, killing, and affecting some massacre here and there. In Islam, jihad primarily is struggle. The question of killing or being killed comes later. It is an Arabic name, the root word of which implies struggle. One who tries and endeavors, one who struggles, even if it were to arrive at the right conclusion after having discussed the premises, he is the one who is known as a mujtahid, who infers and deduces after having deliberated upon all the arguments and evidence. So it was actually a struggle and not the question of lifting up arms and fighting. Fighting came later. Struggle was first, and no human being in this world and on earth has got any meaning assigned to his life if he ceases to struggle. Allama Iqbal has said, Zinda har ek cheez hai, koshishe na tamam se. Zinda har ek cheez hai, koshishe na tamam se means if you want to see if any particular institution, any particular individual, any particular organization is dead or alive, judge whether the struggle is still on or not. As long as the struggle is on, it is living. The moment the struggle finishes, it is dead. Zinda har ek cheez hai, koshishe na tamam se. That is why when a person is approaching death, he still struggles to live. Even if you kill him, you'll find he is still trying to breathe. As long as he is struggling, he is alive. The moment he is dormant, he is dead. जिंदा हर एक चीज है, कोशिशें ना तमाम। मुल्ला मोहसिन फैज काशानी, the writer of Tafsir Safi, writes that there came a stage when Hazrat Musa ala Nabiyyina wa alayhi salam, one of the greatest prophets sent by Allah, Musa Kalimullah, there came a stage in his life when he started thinking, not believing, thinking that there was none on earth who knew better than him in those days. He thought his ilm had reached a pinnacle and that there was none who could dispute his knowledge, that Allah had blessed him with the best of knowledge. It just occurred to him. It just occurred to him. And he writes that immediately as it occurred to him that he knew most, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a revelation and wahi to Jibreel and told him, Adrik Musa fa innahu halak. Come to the rescue of Musa, for he is now nearing ruination. He will be ruined. Come to the rescue of Musa, that he shall be ruined. The meaning being that he has come to a stage where he has started believing that there was no need for any further struggle. An alim, when he thinks that he is one who knows most, ceases the struggle, does not read, does not want to know more, does not want to admit his own ignorance. It is for this reason that when we met people whom we consider as a'lam, like Ayatullah al-Hakim, may Allah bless him, or Ayatullah al-Khuy, who is still alive and may Allah keep him, or Ayatullah al-Khumaini, may Allah keep him. And these are the ulama who are at the pinnacle and the summit of the whole hierarchy as far as fiqh and usul al-fiqh and tafsir and hadith are concerned. They are the authorities which cannot be disputed, but you will find them always reading and trying to learn more and more, because the struggle must continue. The moment they think that they have come to a saturation point, then that is the death of intellect. And that struggle is jihad. That struggle is jihad. What happened was, when Musa came to realize this, that he knew most, and when Allah told Jibreel that go to his rescue, what was to be done? Quran says that Allah told Musa through Jibreel that go and find one man who knows more than you do. It is in Quran as 15th chapter ends and 16th begins. قال ألم أقل لك إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. Musa was ordered by Allah to go in search of one who knew more. Who was he? We know. He was Khidr. And Quran says it is not hadith that you might dispute. Although Musa was ulul azm, one who held Sharia, in his hand was book of God, Torah, in matter of ilm, in matter of excellence and superiority, فوق كل ذي علم عليم, above everyone who knows, there is one who knows most, and that is Allah, and none else. We are born to struggle. So when Musa met Khidr, just in short, Quran says when Musa saw Khidr, Khidr was sitting on his prayer mat on Musalla near the bank of a river. And when Musa knew that this is the man I have to learn from, Allah in Quran says, Musa said, Qala. He said, Hal attabi'uka, may I follow you? Musa is saying to tell Khidr, may I follow you? Hal attabi'uka ala an tu'allimani mimma ullimta rushda. May I follow you so that you may teach me what you have been taught of guidance. Nabi, the principle underlying is that for every man there is always a room for struggle to perfection. Whether he attains it or not is not his lookout, but the struggle must continue. And that was jihad. And when they met and they talked, and Khidr showed what he knew, what Musa did not know. But then Khidr tells Musa, "Oh Musa, I know much more than you do, but there are things which you know more and I do not. So I shall learn from you and you shall learn from me." That is the spirit. And when they sat in that canoe, in that small boat to travel together, there was a seabird, say a seagull, a bird, which just came in trying to catch a fish, but it missed. Just as it missed, what happened was the beak had some drops of water following. As it flew off, droplets of water fell from the beak of the bird. And Khidr tells Musa, do you see those droplets following into the ocean? Musa said, yes. How do you compare those droplets with this vast ocean? Musa said, there is no comparison. He said, your ilm and my knowledge and the knowledge of every creation on earth combined together is equal to a droplet to the ocean when we compare it to the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Musa, you were sent to me for struggle, that you may not feel contented with whatever you have. So as long as there is a spirit of jihad, it means to walk on the road of perfection. And this is what I wanted to say today. In this world and for hereafter, our community, Shia Ithna Ashari, the followers of Ahlul Bayt in particular, and Muslims in general, have got to understand that this is the only religion which can even still claim to have concern for humanity on earth and hereafter. And therefore, what is needed is constant struggle. You just can't remain dormant and say, this is it and no more. As you go on struggling, attaining perfection, not only in mundane matters and monetary affairs, but also in intellectual matters and in your faith, as you go on advancing with your knowledge, with your practice, then you come to a stage which is known as the stage of jihad. Khuda, Allah in Quran says jihad of two types. Hal adullukum ala tijaratin tunjikum min adhabin alim. May I guide you to jihad, a business, a transaction which would save you from the most painful chastisement. تُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. First, have faith in Allah and His Prophet. وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ, and on the day of judgment. وَتُجَاهِدُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ بِأَمْوَالِكُمْ وَأَنفُسِكُمْ. And you struggle on the road of Allah with your wealth and with your souls. When it is soul, it does not mean getting your head cut off. Soul, your time, your efforts, your words, your writing capabilities, your expressions, everything counts. It does not begin with simply going to fight and getting killed. It has got to have some conviction. There is no martyrdom, there is no shahada without conviction, without struggle preceding it. And that is why we find in hadith of the Prophet that most of you will die as shaheed even if you never went to the battlefield, provided you have struggled, and in your struggle you have died. An alim who struggles, a mujtahid who is constantly striving and endeavoring, dies in his deathbed, but dies a shaheed. And the Prophet has said, Man mata ala hubbi ali Muhammadin mata shahida. Whoever dies on the love of Ahlul Bayt dies a shaheed. What is the meaning of that? The meaning is this, that who loves Ahlul Bayt struggles on the path of Ahlul Bayt, and as long as he is struggling, if he dies on his deathbed, he dies a martyr. There is not a necessity of being speared or slaughtered. From this, you will understand how we reach a stage which is known as stage of shahada. The community today needs struggle, and the struggle cannot be meaningful without ilm. So my message tonight in this very short discourse, because of my voice failing me and because of being tired after having gone constantly for so many nights, I don't want to take most of the time, not having pity upon you, pity upon myself. That what is needed today is now a decision to see that we have a group of people among us, from young men and women, who study Islam and acquire knowledge about it, so that when they are going to struggle, they struggle meaningfully and not with ignorance. Because whoever struggles with ignorance proves harmful. Whoever struggles with enough of knowledge proves useful. We don't want harmful friends, we want useful friends, those who guide, and then in their struggle take the community further and further. And for the girls and ladies, I insist, because I am one of those who observe, like you, I observe, and I have quite a keen sense of observation, though I don't speak at times, but I do observe every movement around me, and I tell you that these ladies of ours, Muslimin and Mu'minat and Muslimat, are not going to take any effect from the majlises unless there are women who will explain them. There are ladies who are trained and who will explain them. Because when I speak, or you speak as men, a woman thinks that he is biased. After all, he is male. When I speak of parda, women always think that after all he is a man. But when a woman will stand up and say that I, having believed in Fatima Zahra and Zainab bint Ali, tell you that our dignity is in parda, then is the time when you can expect a change. And then there will come up a generation reared up by women and mothers who have understood. Men cannot. We are having a lopsided development, and that is the reason why, with all that we are doing, we have still not reached a stage where we could have the companionship of ladies in advancement of faith. I am sorry to say this. Either I am not capable of convincing or persuading or conveying at all, but I simply do not see any change or any effect when I see still, after having heard so many Zakirin and ourselves having tried, the whole situation is status quo. it simply does not change. It will not change unless we create a class who will struggle. And there is no struggle like ilm. There is no struggle like ilm. And there is no shahada without ilm. There is no martyrdom without ilm. And I therefore appeal that we must rise to the situation. We have houses here. We have students who are prepared to learn. We might send them out to learn. To Iran or Iraq, wherever the possibilities may be, or even to Syria. We might allow our children to learn religion into the depths and profound stratum of religion, not simply cursory study of Islam, so that we may create among men and women a class who will rise to struggle and along with them carry the community and reach a stage where they might even make themselves martyrs. Those are the martyrs who will go together with Imam Hussein alayhi salam, as they say, Ya laytani kuntu ma'akum fa'afuza ma'akum. As I said earlier, today, Ya laytani kuntu ma'akum does not mean going to the battlefield. Today it means giving company to Imam Hussein in the fulfillment of his message. While the community may progress in all the fields, it must not retard its progress in the field of religion, which really is today needed most. In the wave of resurgence of Islam, we must also ride upon the waves together and try to see that the purpose is achieved. If that is done, this Muharram of ours, this year, in this very modest surrounding, inshallah, can become a memorable Muharram.